What's up, everyone? Welcome to our TV recap of the Book of Boba Fett, Episode 2. And we have decided to switch it up a little bit. And David has actually hung the poster in the background, top right, just in time for this video.
The Mandalorian poster, the Marvel poster, and then I put the Grogu one right over there. But it looks weird because it's angled, so it doesn't look as nice as it should be when it's like in front of you.
I mean, when you squint, it's totally fine.
Yes.
The episode opens up with Shan bringing back one surviving assassin from the Order of the Night Wind. Ooh, so ominous, David.
I know. Now, when they said that they brought back so when it's revealed that he's from the Order of the Night Wind, I'm like, what is that? I feel like that's something from the comics, or maybe one of the more recent books that came out. They might go more in detail about them, but I don't.
Right, even the Clone Wars TV show.
Yeah, but I do like how because he was like, I remember they were saying that he won't give you any information because they're so well trained, and Shan's like, what about the Rancor? And just presses the button, or was it a button or like a lever?
Yeah, I don't even know.
But she pulls like a lever or like a button or something, and he falls right in. And I just remember when he falls in, and the gates are slowly opening at the bottom. I remember just sitting there. I'm just like, didn't Luke kill the Rancor in Star Wars Episode 6? And I'm just sitting there, and I'm already thinking to myself, I don't think anything's gonna come out of there. Yeah.
The funny thing is, when he fell, and she's like, the Rancor, and I was like, there's no Rancor. But I didn't realize, Luke killed it. But I just they didn't put the Rancor in.
No, because I feel like if there was a Rancor in there, you would have heard it scream or roar, And I also knew that I had a feeling that it was dead because I remember the memory that I had was the Rancor laying on the floor and the gate slammed over its neck.
Yeah, and then that guy is just crying.
Yeah, so that's why I was like, there's no Rancor. There shouldn't be a Rancor. But I remember the assassin ends up saying that the mayor had hired him.
Yeah, that actually took me for a turn. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and I was like, I knew it. The mayor is dirty.
Right? And I was like, okay, it makes sense. Because Boba Fett, he wouldn't play ball.
Yeah. And then they went to go visit the mayor, right, at his office.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and when they go in, they kind of just force their way into his office, and they throw the assassin forward. And he's like, "Oh, tell him what you told us," and they just straight up kill the assassin. The mayor just straight up shoots, has one of his men shoot the assassin.
Yeah, I was like, okay, the mayor's not playing around.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this mayor is low-key dirty. Mm-hmm. But I remember, the mayor... I'm kind of confused if the mayor's a good guy or a bad guy, because he does say, I remember I wrote down the quote, too, in my notes. I put, running a family is more complicated than bounty hunting.
Yeah, I feel like he's just plays the field.
Yeah, I'm wondering if someone's playing him as well.
Yeah, it's probably the Hutts.
Yeah, could be the Hutts, the cousins that show up.
Yeah,
because the mayor tells them to go to the sanctuary, go back to the sanctuary. And did you notice the blue elephant is back?
I did, and I was like, it seems a little bit better costume this time around.
Yeah, I think I was telling you, right? I found out apparently his name is Max Rebo.
Oh, I didn't know his name.
Yeah, apparently it's Max Rebo. I don't know where the name came from, but that's his name apparently in Star Wars lore.
And two names nonetheless.
Yeah,
one name I could see, but no, he has a full last name.
The owner of the sanctuary, I can't remember her name right now in the moment, but she basically tells Boba that Jabba the Hutt's cousins have now laid claim to the land since Jabba is gone.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, not all of Jabba's family's dead.
So apparently some people are having gripes with the CGI of the Hutts, but I feel like CGI for the Hutts makes sense.
Honestly, Yeah, it felt like going back in time.
Yeah.
Are they trying to go back for nostalgia? Special effects? Or was it a budget thing?
Well, the huts were CGI, but I think it's probably a budget thing. Like, do you remember The Mandalorian with Luke? Like how that CGI of his face? I feel like it's probably just a budget thing.
I feel like it's a budget thing.
Yeah, and then but what I will say is, if you notice those guys like carrying the huts, like they literally look like they're carrying something because you see
something heavy too.
Yeah, it was like in the back, it was like bending on the board, and you literally see one guy's like kind of stepping. It's like he's trying to get his balance.
He was definitely struggling, and I was like, I don't think that's acting.
And I just remember when you see the huts, I just went, wow, they're I guess they're all really like big, like slugs. You know,
they are slug creatures.
Boba said that if they wanted the land, they would have to kill him for it.
Yeah.
Right? And then there's like that black Wookiee.
Yeah, I was like, oh snap.
Apparently that Wookiee is another part of Star Wars lore. Oh, like he was introduced in, because I literally just found out today, he was introduced in a Darth Vader comic book that came out in 2015. And his name is Black Cranston. KRRS or Black Chrysanthemum.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's a weird name, but apparently that's his name, and he's like a ruthless, I don't know if it's a bounty hunter per se. I didn't really look too much into his lore.
Right.
But I just remember he's like a bounty hunter or something like that.
Well, he was growling quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, and then what happened right after that? I'm trying to remember. Because all I remember is like it goes straight to the flashback.
Yeah, because they had the standoff, and he goes into the pod.
Oh, yeah, he goes back into his water pod, yeah. Mm-hmm. And then you have that flashback where he's basically like treated by the Tusken Raiders as one of their own. Honestly, I had low key. I was watching. I was like, it's kind of like Stockholm syndrome. You know.
I mean, I kind of thought it was more like Dances with Wolves.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a warrior that in the end it simulates with the native population.
Yeah, I think it's from. I don't remember Dancing with Wolves, but was he also captured, taken prisoner?
I'm not sure if he was captured, but I know he was wounded in the Civil War.
Okay, because because Boba was their prisoner at first.
Yeah, but but once he was able to understand them, he's like
they fully like accepted him in, especially because he was able to kill that six-armed creature.
Yeah.
So apparently, like there's a scene of him like training with that stick. It's like a weird stick thing, like staff, with one of the Tusken Raiders. Apparently, that staff is called a Gadurfi stick.
Oh, it's got a name.
I had to look it up. Jeez. I was like, there has to be a name for this in Star Wars lore. It can't just be a staff or a stick. There has to be a specific name. Yeah, and it's called a Gadurfi stick. But as they're training, there's suddenly all the Tusken Raiders kind of panic, and they get ready to like in firing positions, and then there's a train that just, I don't know what it's riding on, but there's a train that just drives by in the desert and starts shooting at them.
It's riding on nothing. It's just hovering.
Oh, okay.
Just like those bikes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot. It's Star Wars. They don't. Star Wars.
Everything hovers.
They don't need roads.
Now where they're going.
Yeah. But like at first when those people from the train started shooting at them, I thought they were shooting at the Tusken Raiders like for sport.
Same. Or
because I didn't know what was happening.
No, yeah.
And like it was interesting to see like once the train leaves and how the Tusken Raiders basically burn their dead. To me, it made me think of like Greek warriors. When they die, you put them on a pyre and you put coins on there. It kind of made me think of that. I mean, obviously they didn't put them on like individual pyres. They just kind of threw them into a pile.
Clustered them together.
Yeah.
One fire for all.
And like, there's that one moment where Boba sees like all these dudes on those like speeders just kind of drive by.
Oh yeah, and when I first saw that, I was like, okay, are they from the train? Because they're coming in the opposite direction.
Same. I was wondering, I was like, are these guys from the train? Like, what's happening? Because if they're not, I mean, yeah, because, you know, he basically follows them to would you call it a bar?
I would call it a bar. It was a bar, basically.
Yeah, so he kind of follows them to a bar, and in the bar, those aliens are really rowdy and rude, and there's, like, these two humans there, and one of them, low-key, kind of looked like Bonnie to me.
I don't know. I didn't really see the resemblance on that one.
I think it's just because the eyes. I saw the eyes and I was like, oh, yeah, it looks like it just gave me a feeling of Bonnie.
That's pretty funny.
But I actually really like the fight scene in the bar.
I liked how he used the gun as a baseball bat and then just like
basically
exploded.
Used it as a club.
Yeah, I was like, well, he got one shot off at least.
Yeah. I also liked how the fight scene here was much more fast paced.
Yeah,
it was more frenetic.
The first one.
Yeah, the first one, I was like, ugh, and there was no random parkour scene.
They heard you complain, David.
I know. They heard me cry to the heavens. Mm-hmm. What I liked was he basically just wipes them all out. Like, he doesn't kill. He shot one of them, right? But I don't know if he killed them.
I mean, he shot one and then just kind of beat up the rest.
He just kind of wailed on the rest of them.
Oh yeah.
And then he like takes all their speeders and just rides it. Like, he ties them all together and rides it back to the Tusken Raiders, like to their camp.
Which is pretty smart.
Yeah, and then he basically tells the Tusken Raiders, like, this is how we're going to stop the train, but he has to train them first. I like that montage that they had.
That was pretty fun.
Yeah, I liked you saw that one Tusken Raider guy try to jump from one speeder to the other, and seeing them mess up. I like how he's like, forward, stop. You know? He goes like, and like, I don't... So do you think he speaks to them in sign language, or he just understands how they talk and he does it? Because I don't know if the Tusken Raiders... Okay, because I don't know if the Tusken Raiders talk the same way to each other, or if they have their own language, because they always just sound like they're screaming.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little difference in their fluctuations, because we've only heard them when, you know, they're doing their battle cry.
True.
And that's only like one thing, you know?
Yeah. No.
There you go.
That sound.
Yeah, maybe a little bit deeper.
Yeah, no, I can't do it deeper than that.
I'm too scared to try.
But yeah, I just like how he's like, forward, back. You got it?
And then that one guy just goes reverse.
Yeah. And you know, it gets to the point in the episode where the train comes back again and they all get ready to basically try to hijack it. And they all, like, everyone has a role to play. But if I don't know what it is to me, but when the guys that are on the speeder with Boba Fett, like, trying to get after this train, I feel like more of them died than there were when they started, like, chasing after it. I lost track of how many got shot and died.
I was not keeping count.
Like, the one that he was training to jump from one speeder to his literally died. Like, I think he died, right? He got shot.
Yeah, he got shot, but it was like not right away.
But he didn't make it anywhere. You know, we kind of follow this whole sequence of them trying to hijack this train, which they end up doing. And what was interesting was, like, once they stop training and everything, they take out all the passengers as prisoners or hostages, because they kind of just rope them up.
Yeah, they're hostages.
Yeah, so he takes them all out, and, like, he asks, he just sits there, and I felt that one moment, like, oh, this is what inspired him to want to be Jabba, like, take Jabba's chair.
Yeah.
You know? And he asks, like, which one of you is the leader? And when the leader stands up, he takes off his mask. I was like, oh, he looks like a fish.
Oh, you're right. I was like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. But okay. Cool.
At first, I thought, because you remember the prequel Star Wars movies, the guys from the, it's not, because you had the Republic against the, what was the guys against, the Separatists. Do you remember the Separatists, the leaders, the that sound like Japanese, but they look like fish?
Not really.
In the prequels, they're like dressed in robes, and they're just always like this. Big eyes.
Yeah, no, not ringing a bell. I have not seen the prequels.
Oh man,
prequels.
But so if you look it up, there is a species in Star Wars, at least in the prequels, called the Neimoidians, and they're kind of like, I don't know how to describe it, but they look a bit like a fish. But these guys look more like fishes than the Neimoidians. But
these.
So
yeah,
when you
okay.
Yeah, so I thought they were the same at first. But then I looked up the Neimoidians. I was like, never mind. They do not look the same.
No, yeah. You should have said the Trade Federation guys.
Oh, yeah, I forgot where they were. I just remember they're the Separatists.
No, that's fine. Yeah. I didn't really realize those guys were fish.
Yeah, but I thought, because, yeah, with these, the people that they had kept from the train, they straight up look like fish.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Like a fish on a human body.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
But in these Neimoidian guys are more humanoid.
Yeah, they're more humanoid. But I haven't seen the prequels in a while, so when I saw them, I thought they were Neimoidians. Mm-hmm. So I had to Google. Cool. I was like, oh, never mind. Boba asked him, like, do you have spice? And he's like, what is spice?
Yeah,
right. And then they literally, like, right in that instance, the Tusken Raiders pull out a crate of spice.
And he's like, that's spice. And I was like, oh, okay, I see what they're doing.
I thought it was not, like, Boba basically tells them, like, oh, we'll let you guys go, but you have to go straight towards Anchorhead. And they're like, oh, but it's, like, so much, like, distance. We're gonna die if we walk there. He's like, don't worry, we'll give you some black melons. Its milk will nourish you.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, so that's what those are called. Okay.
Yeah, because when I saw them, another thing that they made me think of was like because when we saw them, do you remember I said they look like a ball, like a cactus ball or like a melon?
Yeah.
Another thing it made me think of was a pumpkin, like a green pumpkin.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, it's milk. Like you were saying before, I think we were talking about this yesterday or the day before. You're like coconut milk.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, I guess, yeah.
I was like, okay, that makes sense. But still, it's like, how did it get there in the desert?
Yeah, because they just dig it out of the ground.
Yeah, and like, okay, and they mentioned that the desert used to be a sea. I was like, okay,
yes,
that makes sense.
Yeah,
but it's like these black melons. Did they grow under the sea? And then, when the desert, when it dried up, did they just stay put? And if so, how much are there? Like, there's a finite amount.
Yeah, like how much is there left? Mm-hmm. Or is it like just constantly growing underneath the sand?
Right? And it's like, when they were looking for it in episode 1, they're just kind of walking aimlessly. And I was like,
yeah,
it's like, how do you know where to go? Are you just kind of hoping?
I wonder if it's just like they know we're a spot where most are found at the moment, kind of thing. Like gold, you kind of know where gold's gonna be found in the moment, so you just go there, or you have an idea of where like the area of where it should be found, so you kind of go there.
Someone came across one. There's probably multiple.
Yeah, so I wonder if it's that, or they straight up just like they know. They have a feeling that it's going to be here.
You got that water stick.
Yeah, and then like right after the Tusken Raiders, they opened up like a pipe or something right on the train, because I remember water started spilling out, and they just grabbed all these buckets to like collect the water.
It's the water cart.
And I liked right after the Tusken Raider, like the chief, they gave Boba a gift, and it was like a little lizard in this little tiny hut.
Mm-hmm.
And they like he blew powder into Boba Fett's face, right?
Yeah, because Boba Fett's like, how's it gonna guide me? And then Raider just like threw powder in him, and he's like, whoa.
Yeah, and I just remember the lizard nose. It crawled up his nose, and I just remember he's like he was like, oh, I'm sorry, I think I swallowed it. It's a tricky little bugger.
Yeah, I was like, that's so funny. That was a great moment.
Because he seemed like so lost. He was like, oh, I'm sorry, my bad. Yeah. It was like, it's like it made me think of like if you're around a group of friends and one guy accidentally farts.
Oh yeah.
It's like it's like, my bad.
Yeah. And also, with it being up there, I was thinking, how long is it going to be up there for?
Yeah, I thought it was gonna because they said it's a gift, so I thought it was just gonna be inside him forever.
Right. And
I thought that's what was affecting him.
Right, and they said it was going to guide him. I was like, is it going to guide him forever?
Yeah, and then you just see Boba like hallucinate a big tree in the middle of the desert.
Yeah, he was
right.
Definitely going through some stuff.
Yeah, he goes into it and like you just see like a bunch of red eyes around the branches, just looking at him.
Yeah, and then
and suddenly and because the branches just kind of close in on him, and you get flashbacks of him as a kid when he sees Jango Fett fly off, and you see another flashback of like when he's stuck in that Sarlacc, like all gooey and stuff. Yeah. And like Boba rips off a branch from the tree, and then the episode goes on where it's like morning now, and the Tusken Raiders see him off in the distance with this branch in his arms or in his hand, and I'm just like, where did this branch come from? Like, did he literally just find a tree in the middle of the desert? And did he was it like a hallucination where he imagined the branches like, enveloping him and he broke it off, but really like he's just on top of a tree, like ripping off a branch? Like,
this is the one.
Yeah, and I'm just like, what exactly is happening? Like, did the lizard take him to? Because it said the lizard would guide him. So my understanding is like, oh, okay, maybe the lizard guided him to that tree. But I don't see the tree, because I'm trying to understand, was it a hallucination or did the tree actually grab him, for him to rip it off?
I feel like it was a hallucination.
So he's probably like on top of the tree.
I mean, knowing Star Wars, you can never tell.
Yeah, but like now I'm just imagining him on top of the tree, like tricky little bugger, rips off the branch.
And then, when he comes back, the Tusken Raider chieftain just like holds out the hut for the lizard and just jumps right out. Yeah, I was like, okay, that's cool. He's not going to have it up there the whole time.
Yeah, and they basically like by that point the Tusken Raiders like fully embrace him into their their life and like their culture, and they start like giving him garments. Like Tusken Raider garments.
Yeah, they wrap him up.
Yeah, and then they took his branch that he had and they turned it into one of the his own Gaddafi stick.
Yeah, which I thought was pretty cool, and seeing that process in their little makeshift, what is it, armor?
Yeah, because at first it looks like I thought the armorer guy was gonna make it for him. I was like, no, he gives Boba
and he just like helps him out a little bit.
Which is cool. It just shows because I always kind of imagine Boba Fett as like a ruthless bounty hunter guy. Because you saw Mandalorian, he literally wipes out all these these stormtroopers with no questions. Like he just wipes them all out. So I imagine him like being really ruthless. So to see him like fully embrace the Tusken Raiders and just accept their culture was really interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely a different side of him that we've never seen before.
Yeah, and then the episode ends with him just kind of joining them in this traditional dance. I guess you would. I guess you could say he joins them in this traditional dance around a bonfire.
Yeah, and when he was first performing the dance, it brought me back to when I used to do Taekwondo.
Oh,
just those movements in Taekwondo. There's a dance you have to do.
Yeah.
To show your I don't know, performance.
Oh, you mean like a form?
A form, yeah.
Yeah, the forms, yeah.
I still kind of remember it. It's very long, and I'm just like, oh, okay.
Honestly, the way I remember forms is that they're all like the way. So, because I also took Taekwondo,
yeah,
and I remember like for forms, it's in a sense it's like, so you would start here, right? It starts off. You turn left. It's either a block or something, and you move forward once. You turn around, right, move forward once, and then you look forward to in front of you, and you do 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, and then you turn again like to right. You either like do a back step or whatever. You just do a step to the right, step forward again, because it's all basically kind of the same structure. But it's the movements themselves, the minute movements are different.
Coming back to the dance, it's like everyone joins in. I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
One thing I'm like, how do they know like who's going to go up next?
Yeah.
Because they go up like one by one, and they don't all just join in at the same time.
Yeah.
Maybe it's true. If you're feeling it, you're good to go. But yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Because I remember them just slowly joining in one at a time. And I'm like, is there a process on like who joins in the dance next? Or is it more of like a rally where like one person's like, I'll join in this dance. And then like the other people join in.
And then like in the beginning, if there's like 2 people that go up, does one sit down or do they both go?
Yeah. They need to explain that in the next episode.
That's one thing about like movies and TV shows is that those questions don't really have to be answered because, the director will direct you.
Yeah. But I will say I really enjoyed this episode more than episode 1.
Oh, yeah? Because there wasn't parkour?
It wasn't parkour, and it wasn't like... It's like a lot of slow, sluggish movements. It was fast, frenetic, and it felt engaging.
I liked it too because you get more of the Tusken Raiders background.
Yeah.
You see their livelihood.
Yeah, it humanizes them.
Yeah, it makes them seem like they're more misunderstood.
Yeah, because really they're just trying to protect their land.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to find out that, there are multiple tribes.
Yeah, that was another thing. I like how Boba was like, don't worry, this tribe will like give you protection.
Yeah, you were protected by the Tusken Raiders.
Yeah, like you're fine, just go. Like you won't be attacked by other Tusken Raiders.
Yeah, you just walk.
Yeah, but yeah, overall, I really liked this episode. It was more engaging to me, and the action was very frenetic, which I felt fit with what they had presented us with Boba Fett before in The Mandalorian.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to episode 3.
That's our video for the day, guys. If you like what you saw, please like and subscribe and leave a comment down below. And if you saw the second episode of Book of Boba Fett, let us know what you thought down in the comments section.
And don't forget about our Instagram at 3buds and a movie.
See you guys next time.